The Shepnaz podcast begins now.
You're listening to the Shepnaz podcast at Shepherd Church. Everything we do here is to connect our community in a meaningful relationship with Christ. I'm Joey and I'm your host. Today we've got some of my friends from Shepnaz Youth, Jeni and Carter, hanging out with us. They're here to tell us about their recent experience at Winter Retreat, so you're going to want to hear this. Hey guys, thanks for being here. I'm glad you didn't stand me up because it could have been awkward. Yeah, a little more awkward than the silence that will probably happen in between some of our questions. But I want to hear from you guys because sometimes a lot of people who maybe are listening to this have no idea that we even have a youth ministry that you guys are a part of. So I want to know what are some things that you love about being a part of a youth ministry at Shepherd, and it better be a lot of things because I'm sitting right here and you'll hurt my feelings if you say, if you don't have anything that you like.
I kind of like the I like how we have a band that I'm the drummer of the youth band, and I kind of like how we can instead of watching people play up on the stage, some of us can come up there and play. I also like just like the people that we can talk to. There's a lot of new faces come in every single day.
Yeah, I really like that it's just a group of people my age who I can get to know, and everybody there is there for the same reason. Because going to church on Sunday is one thing with like adults and everything, but this is a way to just get to know people on a deeper level.
Yeah, awesome. So you both, along with 18 other students from our church, got to be a part of Winter Retreat with about 350 other teenagers from around the central Ohio area. Would you guys just talk about that experience a little bit? Like what happened over the weekend? What was fun about it? What did you guys do?
I mean, we did a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of fun stuff. And then there was a lot of Jesus time. As we like to call it. I kind of liked hanging out with. I liked knowing more people because some of the people that we went with, we didn't really get to know until like after we went, or we got to know more people.
There's no better getting to know than a 2-hour van ride.
Oh, that was
for sure.
Going there was fun. Coming back was not as fun.
Yeah, the retreat was awesome because, you know, you have 350 kids going there, and on like one hand, a couple hours you're all playing games, and then the next everyone's like crying their eyes out in worship, and it's awesome just to like all be in this place, in this environment for the whole weekend.
Yeah. Anything happened that was kind of unexpected that you weren't really ready for, or not even in a bad way, just like something that kind of surprised you?
Well, I don't know about Jeni, but sometimes I kind of like listening to the music more than playing the music, if you know what I mean. We're never usually on the ground floor that much anymore. So listening to music was really unexpected. That was so much fun. And you really got to worship and have that really nice experience of not just playing our music, but we can like listen to it and we can put up our arms and we can sing as loud as we can and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. During especially the hype songs, we were down there jumping up and down, and it's just so fun because we don't really get to experience it like that when we're, you know, focused on getting notes right and being on beat and stuff.
Good.
So it was cool.
Cool. What is something that happened at Retreat that you are looking forward to someday doing again?
I would say like I would love to worship like that, like we did, like playing our instruments like we would worship on the ground, right? I would like to be more open to people, like invite a new person to come like hang out with us, or like have that like excitement.
For one, tubing. That was my first time tubing, and I loved it. Besides, like, my neck killing me.
Does it still hurt?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it's okay. Also, the second night, it was all about like shame and being forgiven. And after she gave the message, they had the worship team come up, and everyone was just like hugging each other. Like they had their youth pastors go to the front, and people were just hugging everyone, and it was such a cool experience. And I gave my friend Jackie probably more hugs than I have my entire life.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. I felt like you could see God's love just like in that room, and I really, really want to experience that again.
Can we just say that the pastor, what was her name again?
Jen
Yeah.
Ballinger.
She was
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I've never, Rob, I love your preaching, but that
We're
was
sitting,
really good.
we're sitting in his office. He's going to kick us out.
Yeah.
It's so rude.
But hey, I really like Rob. And oh my gosh, how many times have Rob made me cry? But that was a pretty real knee
Yeah.
kicker right there.
Yeah.
Your preaching's really good, Rob.
Nice save. Nice save. What's something that you hope will that you experience that will kind of carry over, that will continue on?
For me, on retreat, like I feel like God is always on your mind. You know, you're in that place and you're there for that reason. And when you go back to a quote unquote normal life, that can be easy to just forget about or push to the side. But ever since retreat, I've been trying to like daily remind myself and like at random points in my life. At one point, Brian had said in our small group to write like on your mirror in the morning, like, I'm living today for Jesus. And I've found myself just like in the middle of the day, just like saying that and reminding myself of that. And that's something that it's been really cool to have, and I want to continue doing that.
Yeah.
I agree. But just every day, like before, you're like, oh, whatever. Just a normal day. But then when you come back and you're just like, wow, now I see like what I'm doing is not that like the best thing ever. That I could be like, I'm on my phone. What if I should be praising like God, Jesus, reading my Bible, praying, all that. Like you feel like it's kind of like you find yourself being guilty. Yeah? Like you see the more guilty things that you do, and you should put like more Jesus in it. And then sometimes most people do that.
Yeah, I think putting more Jesus in it is what.
Yeah. Even if you're on your phone, you can probably still watch Jesus. Yeah. Well,
one of the resources we want to let you in on as we are going through our sermon series, Money Matters, is a book by Randy Alcorn called The Treasured Principle, Unlocking the Secret of Joyful Giving. In the book, you'll hear the radical teaching of Jesus all about generosity. You can grab a copy in the lobby on Sundays, or you can find it for yourself on Amazon. Hopefully, once you discover this secret, your life will never look the same. Each month, our church gathers for an intentional time of prayer. Ignite happens on the first Tuesday of every month. We begin with expectant worship and then move into a time of prayer led by Pastor Rob. February 7th is the next Ignite from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Plus, we've got programming for your kids. We'll see you here at Shepherd on February 7th for Ignite. So it's a common theme that a lot of youth pastors probably talk about, and you guys have been a part of youth ministry for a long time, that winter retreats and summer camps and all these different things, they kind of take you up to a mountain, like when it comes to your spiritual walk with God. Like they bring you up to this thing, and then it's very usual then to kind of come down from that mountain into, like you said, Jenny, back to normal life, where we only think about God on Sunday and Wednesday. And so what are some things that you guys could think about doing? And you mentioned one, which was the mirror. What are some things that you think you could do intentionally, especially like if your friends listen to this, to kind of keep that spiritual momentum going?
I'm gonna bring up the thing I was talking about with Rob. One day, Rob made a graph that was a flat line, and it had little bumps in it, and that was like the top of the bumps was like, oh, that's when you go to retreat, or you go on that's when you get to like start a new like Jesus chapter. Like you start something new with Jesus, but then it goes right back to where the line is, and it just is like these weird little bumps. But then he showed us a graph that was those bumps, but we only went down a little bit. So we keep growing, even though we go down a little bit after retreats or like new Bible studies or any of those, we still go up a little more until we're not perfect, but like we're so close with God that there's like nothing that could stop us.
Yeah. So like I said, the mirror thing, also just like listening to worship music on the way to school, just the constant exposure for me helps.
That's good. I think one of my favorite pictures when it comes to retreats and camps, things like that, when it talks about the mountain, we always yearn. I don't know about you, but I love those events. Or like as a pastor, I get to go to conferences that are designed for pastors to come and to learn and to worship. And like you said, there aren't a lot of Sundays where I'm able to turn my I work here brain off and just like let go and worship, because I work here. And like there's always something happening, or the fire alarm goes off during worship, or all this different stuff. So at a conference, I really get to kind of like throw all out to the wayside and just be present. And we always yearn for the mountaintop, and we look at people who climb mountains as like this big thing, and it is a big thing. But we think that that's the most spiritual growth we can have. But in reality, when you look at the top of mountains, it's typically not very much things growing there, right? You look at snow-capped mountains, and there's not a whole lot of life. And we typically would then look at the valleys of our lives and think, oh, that's where the dead things are. But in truth, that's where all the green things are and the most growth. And so my challenge to you guys is that to yes, like yearn for those mountaintop moments, but never forget that like growth really happens when you come down from that mountain and you live your life and you live in such a way that Jesus walks along with you and you carry him through all the time. And that's kind of how I think you can help to keep that spiritual momentum going, to where you're not just waiting for the next camp or waiting for the next retreat, or really even just waiting for next Wednesday. That Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you can do that too. What are some things, this is totally off topic, so you ready for this?
Yeah.
What are some things that you guys are looking forward to, just like personally? Like what's coming up in your life that you're like excited about?
So I know that we have actually no, we have NYC. Me and Joey have NYC.
Yeah, Jeni
Sorry, Jeni.
Go.
I would love Jeni
exactly
to go. I have a timer. I have a countdown for NYC.
Okay. NYC, for everybody listening, is Nazarene Youth Conference, and it happens every 4 years. And we've got 7 students going. We're going to Tampa, Florida, in July.
So that's pretty. That's a pretty big trip, right?
Yeah. And those students get me as their personal tour guide at Disney World.
That will be hilarious. Yeah. I hope you like riding rides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's not as big as Florida, but my birthday is coming up.
Woo!
Yep. And I have a little Valentine's Day get together next weekend. So exciting stuff.
There we go. All right. Well, guys, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again sometime.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. If you guys would want to, I want to pray for you guys. We don't do this on all of our podcasts, but because you just came off of something like a retreat, I want to pray for you. And I want to also pray for the rest of your friends that were there, and for all the other students and our leaders who are still recovering from it, who still need more sleep. We'll also pray that we don't get any more vans stuck in the mud next time. So, all right. I want to pray for you guys. You ready? Jesus, we're so thankful for all that you've done for us. I'm thankful for these students who have come on and shared their experience. We pray that you would keep this experience going in their lives, and for all those who were a part of the winter retreat, that you would carry over that momentum in their life, that they'd grow more like you, and that they'd be bold and witness to their friends who are at school, in their neighborhoods, who they work with, that they'd see your light shine through them. We're thankful for all that you've done for us. We pray these things in your name. Amen. All right, guys, thanks for being here. That's going to take care of today's episode of the Shepnaz podcast. Special thanks to my friend Jeni and Carter for hanging out with us, and for Pastor Rob, even though Carter was making it sound like he doesn't like his preaching. He actually used one of his illustrations, and so he did listen at one point. If you have any questions or you want to leave us some comments, you can do that at podcast@shepnaz.org. You can find us online at shepnaz.org as well. For Jeni and Carter, I'm Joey. Have a great rest of your day.
This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.